Once, in a small village nestled between the mountains and the river, there lived a young woman named Amara. Amara was known for her beauty, kindness, and intelligence, but she had one thing that made her different. She was the daughter of a wealthy and influential man, Chief Oko, who was known throughout the land for his power and authority. But as much as Amara loved her father, their relationship had always been strained. Chief Oko had married a second wife, a woman named Nina, who never liked Amara. Nina was a woman of pride and bitterness, always scheming to take the chief's favor for herself, and she was jealous of Amara's beauty and the love she received from her father. Despite being the only child of her father's first wife, Amara had never truly known the warmth of a mother's love. Nina, in her desire for power, often mocked Amara, calling her weak and worthless, and her bitterness only grew as time passed. One fateful evening, after an argument between Nina and Amara over a simple household chore, Nina planted a wicked seed in the chief's mind. She told him that Amara was trying to undermine her authority, that she was disobedient and ungrateful. "She will bring dishonor to our family," Nina claimed with a sly smile. "She must be taught a lesson." Amara's heart broke when her father, whom she loved so dearly, listened to Nina's lies. Chief Oko, in a moment of blind anger and mistrust, ordered his daughter to leave their home immediately. "You are no longer welcome here," he said, his voice cold and distant. "You have brought shame upon me and this family." Amara's eyes filled with tears, but she did not speak. She knew better than to argue with her father when he was in such a mood. As the chief's guards escorted her away, Amara's heart shattered into pieces. She had always believed that love would guide her father's decisions, but now, she was an outcast in her own home. With nowhere to go, Amara wandered through the village, unsure of her future. As she walked through the thick forest at the edge of the village, a voice called out to her. It was an old woman, bent with age but sharp-eyed and wise. The woman, who went by the name of Ugochi, had lived in the village for as long as anyone could remember. She was known for her wisdom and for being an oracle of sorts, giving advice to those who were lost or in need. "Why do you look so lost, my child?" Ugochi asked, her voice kind and gentle. Amara shared her heartbreaking story with the old woman, explaining how her father had banished her, and how she had nowhere to go. Ugochi listened attentively and then smiled warmly. "Sometimes, we are cast out not to suffer, but to find our true purpose. Your father's banishment is not your punishment, it is your calling," Ugochi said cryptically. With nowhere else to turn, Amara stayed with Ugochi, who took her in as her own. In the days that followed, Amara learned the ways of the forest. How to gather herbs, tend to the animals, and heal with the plants that grew in abundance. Ugochi taught her not only about the world around her but also about the strength she carried within. Amara learned that true beauty was not in her appearance, but in her kindness, wisdom, and resilience. Years passed, and Amara became a skilled healer, sought after by people from all corners of the land. Her fame spread far and wide, and soon, even the wealthiest and most influential families sought her help. Despite the success and the respect she earned, Amara never forgot the pain of her banishment, and a part of her always yearned for reconciliation with her father. One day, word came to Amara that her father's health had begun to deteriorate. Chief Oko was gravely ill, and no healer in the village could save him. It was then that Ugochi spoke to her again. "You must go to him, Amara. He needs you more than ever, and you have the power to heal his heart as much as his body. Forgiveness is the greatest cure." Amara hesitated but remembered the love she had once felt for her father, and the teachings Ugochi had imparted to her. She knew what she had to do. Amara returned to the village, but things had changed. The chief's mansion stood in disrepair, the once lavish halls now cold and dark. When Amara entered, she was met by Nina, who was stunned to see her standing in the doorway. Amara's beauty had only grown with the years, and her presence was more powerful than ever. "Amara, you You have returned. Nina stammered, her face showing a mixture of guilt and fear. Yes, Amara replied calmly. I have come to heal my father. Nina's eyes narrowed, but she stepped aside, allowing Amara to enter. Inside, Chief Oko lay in his bed, frail and weak. His face softened when he saw his daughter, and for the first time in years, there was a hint of recognition in his eyes. Amara approached her father, kneeling beside him. Father, I have returned. I am here to help you, she said softly, her voice full of love despite the hurt she had carried for so long. With the wisdom and knowledge she had gained, Amara tended to her father's ailments. She prepared healing herbs, gave him soothing teas, and spoke to him with the care of a daughter who had never stopped loving him. Over the course of a few weeks, Chief Oko's health improved, but it was his heart that needed the most healing. One evening, as they sat together, Chief Oko looked into Amara's eyes and said, I have wronged you, my daughter. I cast you out of my life, and for that I will never forgive myself. But I am thankful for your forgiveness. You have proven that love is stronger than hate, and that the heart can heal even the deepest wounds. Amara smiled, her eyes filled with tears, but this time they were tears of relief. You have always been my father, and I will always be your daughter. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, as much as we give to others. The chief, now a humbled man, embraced his daughter. Their reunion was a long overdue healing. For both of them. As for Nina, her bitterness and jealousy faded away, and she too found redemption in Amara's grace. The family was mended, and Amara became a revered healer not only in the village but throughout the land. Years later, Amara became a great leader in her own right, known for her wisdom, strength, and compassion. She had risen from being banished to becoming one of the most powerful women in the kingdom, not because of her beauty, but because of her heart. And whenever she was asked about her journey, she would smile and say, sometimes, being cast out is just the beginning of a new chapter, one where we find ourselves and heal the world around us. And so, Amara's story became legend, passed down through generations as a tale of love, forgiveness, and the power of healing, showing that even when the world turns its back on you, there is always hope for a new beginning.